Gentlemen, let me start with a question that most men have thought about at least once, but rarely, if ever, say out loud. It's not something you hear in locker room talk, and it's definitely not something people discuss at the dinner table. Yet curiosity about it is far more common than most would admit. The question is simple: is it safe to swallow vaginal fluids during intimate contact? For many, it's a quiet curiosity, an unspoken thought that lingers somewhere between fascination and uncertainty. But understanding the answer isn't just about curiosity, it's about health, awareness, and respect for the human body. And today, we're going to explore this topic with clarity, science, and professionalism, in a way that empowers, not embarrasses. First, let's begin with a truth that often goes unnoticed. The female body is not something mysterious or dangerous. It's one of nature's most remarkable systems of balance, protection, and intelligence. Every function, every response, every secretion is there for a reason. To understand whether something is safe, we have to start with what it truly is. Vaginal fluids are not random or dirty. They're a carefully balanced biological composition designed by nature for protection, comfort, and health. When you understand what's in them, you realize there's nothing to fear, only something to respect. The female body produces these fluids from several specialized glands. The Bartholin's glands, located near the vaginal opening, release a clear and slippery substance that reduces friction during intimacy. The Skene's glands, sometimes called the female prostate, contribute additional lubrication and have protective antibacterial functions. Then there's cervical mucus, which changes throughout the month in consistency and composition, depending on hormonal fluctuations. Each of these has a distinct biological role. Together, they form a system that keeps the internal environment clean, lubricated, and balanced. What's in these fluids? Scientifically, they contain a mixture of water, enzymes, glucose, amino acids, lactic acid, and even natural antimicrobial agents. These substances protect tissues from infection, maintain the ideal pH for healthy bacterial balance, and support reproductive health. If you compare it to saliva, the parallel is clear. Both are protective fluids designed to create comfort and support the natural microbiome of the body. The misunderstanding comes not from biology, but from lack of education. When you replace uncertainty with knowledge, discomfort turns into respect. Now, the real question arises: is it safe? The answer depends entirely on health and context. For partners who are both free from infections, it is considered safe. The female body's secretions are not inherently harmful. In fact, they are part of a natural process that helps maintain reproductive and sexual health. However, as with any form of close contact, if one partner carries a sexually transmitted infection, bacterial, viral, or fungal, there is a possibility, even if small, of transmission. That's why education, testing, and mutual awareness matter far more than myths or fear. Many men also wonder about variations, why the taste or scent might change over time. This, too, has a scientific explanation. The chemistry of the body is not static. Hormones fluctuate during the menstrual cycle. Hydration, diet, stress levels, and even sleep can subtly alter body chemistry. A diet rich in fruits, hydration, and balanced nutrition can lead to lighter and fresher taste and scent, while dehydration, alcohol, or certain foods like garlic and coffee can cause stronger tones. These natural changes are not signs of disease or impurity. They are simply the body responding to everyday variations in chemistry. Understanding that removes unnecessary anxiety and replaces it with awareness. There are, of course, situations where attention is needed. Any sudden change accompanied by discomfort, itching, burning, or an unusually strong odor could suggest an imbalance or infection. These conditions are typically minor and treatable, but ignoring them can cause unnecessary worry or shame. Open communication between partners about such changes is essential. Instead of silence or judgment, approach with care and support. Compassion in these moments strengthens connection and trust more than anything else. One of the most overlooked aspects of intimacy is communication. Many men avoid sensitive conversations because they worry about awkwardness or rejection. Yet silence often does more harm than any physical risk. Talking openly about comfort, preferences, and safety does not kill attraction, it deepens it. Mutual honesty about testing, health, and comfort creates an atmosphere of trust, and trust, in turn, creates confidence. In a healthy relationship, discussing health and boundaries should be as natural as discussing plans or feelings. Testing for sexually transmitted infections is not just a precaution, it's an act of respect. Experts recommend routine STI screening for sexually active adults, ideally twice a year or before beginning a new relationship. It takes away uncertainty and ensures that both partners engage from a place of confidence and safety. In many cases, couples find that getting tested together becomes a bonding experience. It represents shared responsibility and mutual care, which are foundations of long-term intimacy. Beyond the biological and safety aspects, there's a deeper psychological element to address: the power of acceptance. Intimacy isn't only a physical connection, it's emotional, mental, and even spiritual. When a man reacts with disgust or rejection toward something natural, it can deeply wound his partner's confidence. She begins to internalize shame for something her body does naturally. But when he responds with understanding, care, and respect, it creates safety and trust, two of the most powerful catalysts of attraction and satisfaction. A relaxed and confident partner responds with openness, which enhances both pleasure and connection. This brings us to an important point. Confidence in intimacy doesn't come from technique or performance. It comes from awareness and empathy. When you understand the biology and the emotions involved, you stop treating intimacy as an act and start experiencing it as a shared language. The confidence that emerges from understanding transforms how both partners experience closeness. Let's also look at lifestyle factors that influence not only taste and scent, but overall sexual health. Hydration is essential. Water regulates pH, supports circulation, and helps maintain healthy secretions in both men and women. Diet plays a key role too. Fruits such as pineapple, kiwi, and berries contribute natural sweetness. Leafy greens, whole grains, and probiotics support a balanced internal microbiome. Reducing alcohol, caffeine, and processed food helps prevent imbalances and dehydration. The connection between what we eat and how we experience intimacy is more direct than most people realize. Hygiene is another crucial factor, but it must be approached with balance. Overwashing or using harsh soaps can disrupt the natural flora and cause irritation. The healthiest approach is gentle cleansing with water or pH-balanced products. Many couples find that showering together before intimacy can be both hygienic and emotionally connecting. It builds anticipation while ensuring mutual comfort. What begins as a small gesture of care can turn into a meaningful ritual of closeness. Understanding biology also helps dispel unnecessary myths. Some men fear that female secretions carry toxins or impurities. In reality, they are the opposite. They are self-cleaning mechanisms that maintain balance. The vaginal environment is designed to protect itself. When a couple maintains good overall health, the fluids involved in intimacy are part of that balance, not a threat to it. The key is awareness, knowing when things are normal and when medical attention might be needed. This kind of maturity is what separates anxious uncertainty from confident knowledge. Now, it's worth addressing another common question. Can diseases really transmit through this kind of contact? While the risk is generally very low, certain infections such as herpes, HPV, gonorrhea, or HIV can be transmitted if one partner carries them. However, the probability is significantly lower compared to other forms of sexual contact. Practicing safe intimacy, maintaining routine checkups, and having honest discussions minimize these risks to nearly zero. For healthy couples who are infection-free, the act itself poses no inherent harm. What truly matters is mutual health and hygiene. Men often underestimate how their attitude during intimacy affects their partner's confidence and, ultimately, their own satisfaction. When a man treats his partner's body as something to respect, when he approaches intimacy with curiosity instead of fear, he creates a positive cycle. The more she feels safe and accepted, the more responsive and confident she becomes. And that, in turn, enhances connection and satisfaction for both. Real intimacy isn't built in the moment. It's built in the mindset. Confidence in these matters also comes from preparation. Regular checkups, good nutrition, exercise, and sleep all contribute to hormonal balance and sexual health. These small habits maintain energy, clarity, and performance. Taking care of your body is not vanity. It's part of being a responsible partner. The more you value your health, the more you're able to enjoy intimacy without anxiety or hesitation. As we reach deeper into this discussion, it's important to recognize how powerful understanding can be. Many cultural taboos have kept men and women from discussing these topics openly. Generations have grown up believing that curiosity about the body is shameful, but silence only creates fear, and fear distances people from connection. When men learn about the natural functions of a woman's body, they replace insecurity with empathy. Knowledge becomes the foundation for respect. Respect becomes the foundation for love. And love, when combined with health, becomes the purest form of confidence. For most healthy infection-free couples, swallowing vaginal fluids poses no medical harm. The key word is health, mutual health. When both partners are clean, tested, and comfortable, the act is physiologically harmless. What it represents, however, is much greater. It symbolizes trust, acceptance, and connection that goes beyond biology. It's a sign of emotional closeness and confidence between two people who understand and respect each other fully. But let's not overlook something even more vital: psychological safety. True intimacy thrives in an environment of emotional honesty. If something feels uncomfortable, uncertain, or unwanted, it should always be discussed openly. Respecting boundaries is as important as respecting the body. No act should ever feel forced, judged, or shamed. Consent and comfort are the real pillars of fulfilling intimacy. When both partners feel seen, respected, and free from judgment, everything else naturally aligns. There's also a broader message here, that sexual health is part of overall well-being. Taking care of your body, communicating openly, and maintaining hygiene are not separate from mental and emotional health. They are interconnected. Men who educate themselves about these topics tend to experience stronger relationships, less anxiety, and higher self-esteem. Knowledge removes uncertainty, and certainty builds confidence. As we come full circle, remember this: the goal of discussing intimate topics is not to sensationalize, but to humanize. The human body, male or female, deserves respect, understanding, and care. There's no shame in curiosity when it's guided by science and empathy. Learning about the body is not something to be embarrassed by. It's a mark of maturity. So, is it safe? Yes, for healthy, infection-free couples, it is. The real lesson, however, lies beyond the biological yes or no. The true lesson is that awareness, communication, and respect transform not just safety, but satisfaction. When men understand the science, when they replace judgment with knowledge and fear with understanding, they evolve into partners who lead with confidence and compassion. Real confidence is quiet. It doesn't come from bravado, but from understanding. It's built on curiosity, empathy, and the willingness to learn. The men who take time to educate themselves, to ask the questions others avoid, and to prioritize respect over ego, those are the ones who experience connection in its truest form. That's what it means to be not just a good partner, but a confident and conscious one. At the end of the day, intimacy is not about power or performance, it's about partnership. It's about two people choosing to trust, communicate, and care for one another. Science tells us that the human body is capable of extraordinary harmony when treated with respect. That harmony extends far beyond biology. It shapes how we love, how we connect, and how we live. Gentlemen, if there's one message to take away, it's this: the more you understand, the more you connect. Knowledge doesn't make intimacy less exciting. It makes it more meaningful. Curiosity, when guided by respect, turns fear into fascination. And that kind of awareness doesn't just make you safer, it makes you stronger, more confident, and more connected to the world around you. So take care of your health, value your partner's body as much as your own, get tested, stay informed, and treat every aspect of intimacy as an opportunity for connection, not confusion. Because real confidence, the kind that lasts, begins not in the body, but in the mind.